To start our day off on a positive note, I would like to introduce a poll. It's an interactive way for us to engage with you and see what your opinions are. We will have two polls during this presentation and would love to see your responses. In a moment, you should see a new window that populates on your screen that says polling. Go ahead and click on the polling phrase and answer this question. How did you find your last job? And the first one, or A, would be newspaper advertisements. B would be a help wanted sign as you drove around town. C, online job boards. Minnesota Works. Indeed, ZipRecruiter. Or D, networking. Traditional, family, friends, coworkers, or colleagues, social media, LinkedIn, Facebook. As you submit your answers, I do encourage you to turn up that volume and find a comfortable but not too comfortable place to set up for the day. Free yourself from those unwanted distractions that are in our pockets. And as this workshop can change your perspective on how you may find your next position. I do want to let you know that your questions do matter to us, and we will be getting to them at the appropriate time during this session. We are hopeful that this workshop will help you recognize different methods for job searching, identifying perks of using the state's labor exchange, Minnesota Works. As all states have their unique labor exchanges, Minnesota Works is ours. To other third-party job boards, such as LinkedIn or Indeed, or those other ones. Informational interview, cold calling, elevator speech. We're going to talk about those strategies a little later and how you can use LinkedIn to maximize your efforts. As we close that first poll, what are your thoughts? And I think I'm going to apply. I'm not sure if I can share with the attendee. I'm going to apply those. And we have 42 responses that said networking, traditional, which is great. We have 23 online job boards, and we have one for newspaper advertisements and help wanted signs. So being surprised? Not really, because networking is the best way to find your next job. So great job. Thank you for participating in that poll. And we're going to jump into how people find work as well as advertise jobs. So the first thing, we can understand people find work from any number of advertised sources. That is why we encourage job seekers to focus their search, to find the industry or career specific job board that yields results. If you're a teacher, you have K-12 JobSpot or EdPost, which are great resources to use. Healthcare has different one. IT has Dice.com. And then you have Fortune 500 companies that are advertising for $100,000 jobs, and that is a totally different website on its own. So figure out where your jobs are posted. Set up certain days to cruise different websites and allow yourself ample time to network. A common problem we've encountered with many job seekers are they tend to have that tunnel vision when it comes to looking for work. They narrow their job search criteria to a word or phrase that may be possibly outdated, or they search by an occupation that is declining. Therefore, we encourage you to look beyond that job title. In the chat, I'm going to throw a useful tool that I use when I'm helping job seekers like yourself find different career pathways. Other job seekers fall in love with the ease of applying online with a click of that button. If there is one thing you're going to take away from this workshop or this session, is to avoid mass applying. In fact, avoid applying directly through any third-party website if you can. I understand some websites only advertise and hire through LinkedIn or Indeed. But if you can find their website, you're going to have more success by applying through their website or going to their place of business and applying through those means. And this will only cloud your job search success if you're doing the mass applying. Instead, what we encourage is prioritize what you find. First, apply to those positions you know you're going to be a great fit for, not with that silly quick apply feature, but with a tailored resume that tells the appropriate story on how you are the right person for the job. If you are skimming the job boards and you find that dream job, verify it is a true job. Don't use the links that are within the job posting. Instead, do your due diligence and research the position. It is best to use caution on the internet. If there are no caution flags thrown during this um, regarding this position, we encourage you to respond immediately with a tailored resume and cover letter through the company's correct employment portal. Unfortunately, closing dates are not written in stone. Some dates are assigned, but many private sector jobs will close an opportunity after 10 days or 20 applicants apply, or they find an ideal hire. To make myself stand out from the other applicants, I like to pick up that phone, call, talk to the hiring authority directly regarding that position if you can. Ask for a complete job description, not just that job posting. What are the expecting closing dates, and who could I tailor a cover letter to? If there is no luxury of connecting with the employer before applying, follow with a phone call. Post-submittal. Typically, we encourage 2 to 3 weeks. Currently on Minnesota Works, which is our state's labor exchange, as I mentioned before, more or less, it's an online job board. What separates this website from other familiar job boards that you put in the chat, such as Career Builder, Indeed, LinkedIn, and ZipRecruiter, is that Minnesota Works is 100% free to the end users, both employers as well as job seekers alike. What I like about it is the only jobs that can be posted on there are W-2 jobs. So you're not just working for commission, stuff like that. It's going to be legit jobs. You see, many of the online job boards, anyone with a credit card can post a job. Only on Minnesota Works, employers who are looking to hire within Minnesota will be considered. In fact, all employers are heavily vetted prior to accessing Minnesota Works, which has been known to minimize the riff-raff scammers. As a job seeker, this is exciting, as our virtual caution flag that we have for the NFL season can be put back in our sock or a back pocket. And as we cruise Minnesota Works looking for the next opportunity, and currently I just checked this morning and we have well over 66,000 jobs listed today and less than 16,000 viewable resumes. That's a 7-to-1 ratio of job seekers to jobs. It's favorable for you to use this. And people that are in California aren't going to be using this website. So you're not going to be, the competition is so much less when you're applying through Minnesota Works or finding jobs on Minnesota Works versus Indeed and LinkedIn. I want to make an educated guess here. Most of us have taken a detour at least once in the course of our career and may have multiple skills that can be more competitive for. This is why Minnesota Works allows you to have five different resumes to focus on different career fields or interests. Even better, these resumes do not need to be in chronological format, which is organized by your most recent job being listed first. Instead, you can build a resume that focuses on your past skills, highlight those jobs that are relevant to your career, and you don't even have to put the dates on there that you work there. You can put how many months, you can put years, you can put month, year, or you can just leave it blank. So I do encourage jumping in there and using that website. If you need more assistance, not this upcoming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, which is already in September, I believe it's going to be the 4th, we'll have a resume writing workshop where you can ask questions and follow up with Career Force representatives to help you with your resume development. As you get advice in your job search, we understand that applications can be a barrier between you and the job you're aiming to get. So a strategy we have found helpful to an open vacancy is put more effort towards applying than the average person. So what does that mean? Does it mean submitting a tailored resume? Yes. Does it mean maybe even crafting a cover letter that is beneficial, that matches the resume format? Absolutely. Maybe picking up the phone and calling or networking with someone inside that location could be your next level up, could make you more than the average person. If a position is open, we need to call and ask for if it's still open. And I'm sure we've seen this before. Nothing is more frustrating than creating a tailored resume for a dream job that closed this past week, or is just a feeler job, or a pool of candidates they're looking for. So what I do is ask to speak to the hiring manager who will be reviewing the resumes. And as I said before, get the position title of that hiring manager, the spelling of their name. This will help you decide if you need to draft a cover letter. And if possible, as mentioned before, ask for the job description breakdown to be emailed to your to your email. Even though many of us found success in the past by looking for jobs online, moving forward, 75% of the jobs you are going to find will be found through people you know. If we look at that first poll we did, we saw 42% said, I found a job through my network. 30% was around, or 40, I think it was 30 something, was just in using LinkedIn or Indeeds of the world. So I do encourage, reach out to the people you know, build your network, leverage your network, engage with your network, and that's where our social media part will come in. Before I move on, I do want to open up our second and last poll. This poll should be open for about, I would say, 30 seconds. So how many people does the average person know? So if you can jump onto that, it's going to be A for 10, B for 50, C 150, D 300, or E 600 or more. I have to say this question always gets a varied response, and in the last year I've yet to see 100% agreed upon answer. So as you submit your final thoughts to your question, ask yourself, how many acquaintances do you have? And are you average? About 8 seconds left. Before we share the answer with you, I want to explain who is in your network. And your network is bigger than you think. Try reaching out to past friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, and others who are genuinely interested in your well-being. Those are the ones who will be interested in your success. But with the labor shortages that we are seeing today, employers are offering bonuses to their employees for referrals. Start spreading the word that you are open for new opportunities with your traditional network and on your social media network. Let others know that you are currently transitioning from one job to another and you're exploring new opportunities. It is so humbling to see how others will go out of their way to help you jumpstart your career by leveraging their personal networks. Consider all those additional factors, family, friends, neighbors, acquaintances, and their own network. It is easy to speculate that the answer to our poll is in the hundreds. This doesn't mean each connection is invested in your future, but it does shed light on the power of networking and how the right connection can make all the difference to job placement. Here is a rhetorical question to think as I share the answers with you of what our responses were to that poll question. Does your entire personal network know you are open for opportunities? And how about your social networks? So think about that for a second. And the responses that we had to that first poll, our second poll, how many people does the average person know? We had 3 out of over 100 people that said 10, 19 that said 50, 23, 150, 22 at 300, and 13 at over 628 did not participate. So holy crap. As I said, varying responses. All right. So thank you for helping on those polls. Now we're going to jump into just using the chat box. So we won't use those polls anymore as we move on. Today, with the use of social networking, I would theorize to that last rhetorical question, does your entire personal network know you are open for opportunities? I would theorize that it takes less than 5 connections to reach any one person on this earth. Heck, if you go to the astronauts up there, they have social media accounts that they're posting. So you could say in this universe. So to be impactful in your job applications, go beyond simply applying. Find out who works there and uh, connect the dots back to yourself. It's about robust job searching, not about connection. Robust job searching is about connection. It's not about perfection. There is no perfect way to job search strategy that will work for everyone, except, and this is the caveat, except networking. Whether you're job searching online or looking through help wanted pages, there is one strategy that separates itself from the rest, for me, I believe, and it's called informational interviewing. We'll share what that is here in the next few slides, but first let's talk about the steps to get to that point, to get to that informational interview. The first step is becoming organized. Find an employer you want to speak to and prepare some honest questions regarding their company or available positions. Write those questions down and maybe even create a script or something that is tangible with talking points. To me, I'd rather be over-prepared than under-prepared and overwhelmed. Step 2, before the call, practice out loud. It helps to hear how you sound, and it will help you to avoid too many filler words such as or like. Step 3, when the phone call is about to happen, find an environment free of distractions. I personally like the car, the den, the office, the bedroom. Please stay away from empty rooms such as an unfinished basement, a bathroom, as it will sound as if you are in a bathroom, which could be unappealing to the person on the other end because of the unpleasant echo. Step 4, dress for success. Not like a suit and tie or extravagant gown, but comfortable jeans, a sweater button down, or polo shirt. And finally, the last step, step 5, as you speak, smile. You sound happier, and your voice fluctuates naturally. And, those who are unable to see you on the other end of the phone, of course, can hear you smile, and the brain paints a picture. So I threw those 5 steps into the chat. If you follow those 5 steps and put the extra effort into researching the employer, making a connection with them can come off less daunting. Networking should never start off with, what can you do for me? Or what jobs are available? Or how much do you pay? Or where do I apply? Those questions demonstrates your inability to do your research. If you want to impress the employer, and I mean impress that employer, that future employer, have a light-hearted and brief conversation with them. Let them know that their time matters and that you would love to a further discussion with them to learn more about their personal journey or how they got involved in the company beyond what that website states, and ask for an informational interview. Stay positive. You may hear no, more than yes. For those who have tried informational interviews, and this is for the chat, for those who have tried informational interviewing, have you found success? I would love to hear it. I know we usually get a mixed baggage with this, but we do have a lot of proud individuals out there that are like, that's the only way I find a job is going out and talking to people. Even though interviewing is part of the phrase, and I love that, Nancy, thanks for adding that, it is merely a casual conversation, usually during a coffee break. This is more successful when the company is either in between job postings or in the early postings of a job opening. Success is found by those who are prepared for the meeting, those who are dressed appropriately, those who can take control and direct the conversation and have a shared interest in the company. As the conversation closes, follow up with a physical thank you letter. This is going above and beyond. Remember how I said earlier, the person who puts most effort in the job usually walks away with a job opportunity. Put that thank you letter out there. Let them know that you are thankful for it. And it doesn't have to be a handwritten gesture. It can be on their LinkedIn account. And here's a great thing. And if possible, ask to connect with them on LinkedIn. Great way, great segue to jump into the social media side. And that's why many of us are here today. Position that way have led to opportunity info shared. Hey, perfect. I love that. So thanks for adding that one on there, Robin, saying, hey, I haven't called it an informational interview, but I've called it coffee chats. Exactly. It's just a chat. It's a conversation. From X, which is formerly Twitter, video resumes to Instagram portfolios, job seekers are devoted to finding innovative approaches to get noticed by employers. But for the most part, there are three pillars of social media that really deserve our attention, and that's going to be LinkedIn, Facebook, and X, mostly LinkedIn. The primary goal of social media is to help you connect with people, build communities and groups, share ideas, interests, and information regarding your chosen profession. What started as simple service has now evolved into a mandatory part. And I say that because it is. It's a mandatory part of our job search. We are into the digital age. The benefits of using social networks is to grow your network. If you have an established network, your traditional network, family, friends, ask colleagues, awesome. As long as you're using it, you're doing the right thing. You don't have to jump on social media at this point, but we do encourage you to look into it. LinkedIn is a professional networking site. You can apply for jobs through LinkedIn, and recruiters use LinkedIn to find potential job candidates. Facebook, Twitter are more sort of private networking sites. We use those websites to express our personal beliefs and share sometimes, and right now during this time of year, not so pleasant articles. So be careful about what you post online. It can come back and haunt you. Consider Googling yourself to see what comes up. I love to just put Samuel Keel, Minnesota, and hit enter and see what pops up. It'll pop up my LinkedIn account. It'll pop up possibly my Facebook. It'll pop up some articles I'm in. So those are all good things. But some of us might have that common name. So when you're Googling yourself and you see what comes up, if you do find something concerning on Google, Bing, or whatever you're using, like your name is maybe on the top 10 most wanted list, consider adding your middle name or initial. Many, if not all, employers will look you up before considering you for the final position. Check out the link in the chat box to see if you have a Minnesota rap sheet. So Minnesota rap sheets, each state has one of these. This is the department. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. I'm sure someone will jump into the chat and say, yeah, it's the background place. But anyways, check to see if you have anything on your rap sheet, because this is kind of what the employer can pull back on a very brief background check. Think of LinkedIn as your virtual water cooler resume. It should be professional and friendly. LinkedIn is no longer a place just to find people. It is a place of personal and professional growth, a place of business growth, a place of economic growth, and a place that makes a difference in personal lives. It's a community where you can be inspired. It's a community to build relationships and a community to discover unexpected opportunities. Regardless if you're an avid user of the platform or new to LinkedIn, the first thing you need to do is update all your information on LinkedIn. In fact, you need to become a LinkedIn All-Star, as it increases your chances to be recognized tenfold. So here's another great question for the chat. Did you know LinkedIn gives priorities to those who have All-Star status? So go ahead and put response in there. Yes, no, what the heck is All-Star? I'm curious to see your responses. Ooh, you guys are responding so fast. I love it. All right, so we got a lot of no's in there. What is an All-Star? Absolutely, we're going to talk about that. Achieving an All-Star status is easier than you think. You just need to spend some time completing your profile and a bit of maintenance, keeping it up to date. To find out what level you are, you need to go into your profile and look at the dashboard where you you see your current level in the top right. You can click on your picture and it'll tell you if you're an all-star status. It'll tell you the level you're at. Unless you're at an all-star status, then it'll be like, nope, you don't need to know that you're all-star. You're awesome. So there are 5 levels awarded by LinkedIn, depending on your profile's level of completion. As you complete your profile and add more content, your profile strength increases. We all started as a beginner, which is given to users with less than 50% of profile completion. To get this, you need to register your profile and fill in the basic information such as name, location, 1 job, and 3 skills. When you reach the 50%, you achieve the intermediate status, which is followed by advanced when you're at 75% completion or less, and then to expert, which is given to users who have a 90% profile completion. The all-star level is given to those users who have 100% profile completion. In the chat, I'm going to go and type in how you can find your LinkedIn all-star status in there. So you can go ahead and jump onto that. LinkedIn algorithms. We hear algorithms. We hear AI today. Gives us priority to users with complete profile by ranking them higher in the search results when those recruiters are going on LinkedIn to find their next candidate. And higher in search results compared to users with incomplete profiles. So it is worth investing some time in tidying up your profile and making sure it is complete. And I'll talk about those 8 steps to achieve the all-star status. But I saw Ben had a great response. You cannot be an all-star on LinkedIn if you don't have a job. That is correct. You need to have that job. So if you are an avid user on LinkedIn and you have that employment part, leave it as present. If you were just released, you just haven't updated it. That's okay. But if it's been like a year, 6 months or more, then I would say, hey, maybe start volunteering and put that as your job. Volunteering can look as a job. So during the job search, it helps you network with others. It's something you can put on your resume as an active volunteer, Habitat for Humanity, or your favorite organizations. Those are some great ways to fill in those gaps to make sure you're at that all-star status. So thank you for adding that, Ben. Great advice. The first step to all-star status is posting a profile picture. Here's a good question for the chat. Of the images on your screen, which images are appropriate for LinkedIn? What should you throw on LinkedIn? And here is some recent data on LinkedIn. Only 51% of LinkedIn users have a fully completed profile. We understand starting something new can be intimidating, but if this is used right, LinkedIn is worth your time investment. If you need motivation to finish, call your career force, ask someone to review your profile, and to set a deadline or write it down on a post-it notes. Hang on your computer or wherever you access LinkedIn from. We see a lot of results coming in. BC is the most common ones that we're seeing. We do have Fs, we do have Ds. What I like to say is having a high quality picture is important to get noticed on LinkedIn. Having an image on LinkedIn has 21 times more profile views than the average without one. Looking in the chat, we can see that everyone does have that opinion. And here's my 2 cents. I would say B and C, because it's great, excellent quality, compelling light. That F1, the head is chopped off. It's right here. Need a little more forehead to be happy with that one. Even though my public profile picture is a more playful or energetic than professional, it clearly shows my face. It is well lit, ideally in daylight, and is a clear representation of who I am. But if we're looking for new opportunities, I would try to get a more professional headshot image And here's something that I recently learned is that some state-sponsored career fairs advertise free LinkedIn headshots, so professional headshots. You can even go in with your iPhone 10 or later, or Android, or your Google Pixie, whatever it's called, and use those. They have high quality camera lenses on it. So as long as you have a really good backdrop, something where it shows you clearly, you can take your own professional one, or you can come over to the Career Force and we can help you take one, possibly in a library if you love to read books or stuff like that. So reach out to us. We'll be happy to help. Your goal with the headline is to appear in more job searches and articulating your value proposition. There is no magic formula when it comes to a perfect headline. Your headline should align with what it is you're trying to achieve on LinkedIn. Ask yourself, who do you want to find you? What are they searching for that you can provide? Answer these questions when writing your headline. Provide your industry and location. This I would have to say is probably the easiest step to get closer to the all-star status. When editing your profile, make sure to enter your postal code, your country, and your industry. These are areas that tell the recruiters where you reside and what industry you're in. A lot of recruiters will search for job candidates on LinkedIn just like you search for jobs by location, settings, and industry. So if you leave this blank, you'll be left out of the majority of the job seeker results. For the experience section, you'll need to include your most recent or current position plus 2 prior positions. According to Forbes, LinkedIn members with current positions are discovered 16 times. As Ben said earlier, you need to have a current position to be in all-star status. In recruiter searches, and their profile views increase by 29 times. Just like on your resume, you need to use action verbs and short, broad statements targeted towards your desired job title or field. I love using geruns or G-runs, G-E-R-U-N-D-S. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but it's an action verb ending in ing. I prefer using those progressive tense verbs use on your resume. Use your resume as a guide to help you write this, and make sure your resume you revise any copy and paste errors, as formatting might not look as nice in your profile. To achieve all-star status, you need to articulate at least 5 skills in your skills section. Include skills that you're good at, and skills related to the keywords employers are using to find candidates. An easy way to find additional keywords: go to your ideal role on LinkedIn, Indeed, Minnesota Works, and look through the 5 to 10 job postings of that ideal job. After a while, you'll start noticing certain words popping up repeatedly that you can use for your skill section, or you can just give Google Bard or ChatGPT or Bing Copilot a try. Lana, I saw that you jumped on and we might have a question.
Yeah, I had a question. This one I didn't want to wait to. It says, how much history should you include on your LinkedIn profile?
It depends on the level that you're looking for. If you're looking for a CEO, how many CEOs start off with 5 years or less of experience? Look at your ideal position. If it's going to be, a senior engineer, you probably want to have at least 10 years. But if you are putting too much information on your LinkedIn account, you might get those words overqualified. So it's a balancing act. And the best advice I can give you is come to us. We can look at what you're looking at. We can review your LinkedIn account. And we can say, you know what, this is an excellent part. This is what you're going for. If you're going to put your whole history on there and no clear objective on which direction you want to go, you're probably going to get that overqualified. But if you have a clear, relevant headline and experiences that back up that headline, and your goal is moderate management, middle management or higher, 10 plus years, I would say. All right, so great question. I love that one. And if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. It's a great time for me to have my coffee break. So go ahead and throw it in there. Out of all the sections in this post, as a wordsmith, this, for me, was the hardest section to nail down. Before 2023, crafting a compelling summary took time. It took energy, revisions, and coffee, lots and lots of coffee. But with cutting edge of artificial intelligence tools that we as end users have access to, what took hours to craft took only a few moments to revise. In fact, if you go to my LinkedIn account and look at my my summary, 80% of it is revised by the about me statement is creatively revised or borrowed from AI. I started with what I had and I said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. These are the experiences I have. I want to make it better for LinkedIn. And I asked AI to do it. This tool unraveled my chaotic career highlights. It organized my thoughts and added some humor that connected to my headline. But if you are a self-proclaimed Luddite, a person who's opposed to technology or ways of working, here are some conventional ways to create a strong summary. An opening statement that clearly shows why you're here. Why are you on LinkedIn? A summary of your work experience and your most impressive and relevant skills. Make sure you include relevant keywords here to increase your chance of appearing in recruiter searches. A few bullet points focus on your achievements rather than your duties. You can quantify your achievements with numbers and even start with your bullets with an action verb, a gerund or derund, and demonstrate your value. Now I got to look that word up. A closing statement about what types of opportunities get you excited and what kind of roles someone should get in touch with you for. Be sure to include your contact information. The biggest benefit of adding the education section is give you the opportunity to connect or be found by fellow alumni. Since you will have built-in connections, this section is also especially important if you're a recent graduate or student. Lana, what do we got?
Yeah, there's two things here. One is, what if your last job is not the direction that you want for your next job? And you want to jump into another industry? Any advice on attracting correct recruiters?
Yes. So I have a lot of advice, but not enough advice time to give that to you. So I encourage you, to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you individually, but to kind of get you in the right role, that one of those first links that I've shared with you have job titles that are similar or what you want to go to. You can even say Chat AI. Go to Chat AI, Bing, Gemini, whatever you're going to go to, and say, hey, this is my last career was this. I'm looking to transition to this career field. What are my transferable skills? Give me 20 of them. And they will go into it. And you can say, give me 20 examples or 2 examples of those 20 skills that a person would put on a resume. And they will provide those. You'll be overwhelmed with happiness because they did all that work. The computer did all that work, put all that information together, and now you can easily verbalize your transferable skills into an industry.
Okay, so the next 2 questions is how important is it to have a premium LinkedIn membership? And then the other one is, does the dislocated worker offer short-term planning classes?
All right. Does dislocated worker offer short-term classes? Each career force is different. Each dislocated worker has different classes that they can provide. So the best thing to do is reach out to your local career force, ask to talk about the dislocated worker program. For those who are joining us and be like, what the heck is the dislocated worker program? It's an eligibility criteria that can provide you assistance, whether that is training assistant dollars or helping you with your job search from resume creation, stuff like that. Or providing you short-term training or on-the-job training. A lot of different things that I could talk about, but the best thing to do is call your local career force. Go to that careerforcemn.com /locations to find the closest one to you. And Lana, could you put that in the chat for me? That would be awesome. So careerforcemn.com /locations. So go to that one, and jumping back to premium. That is sorry, I dropped my shoe. So that a premium account can be necessary for the right person. If you are an avid user, and I mean daily posts and commenting on people and stuff like that, being more active than the average person, and your account is set up, and go ahead and try it. You can use it for free for 1 month. If you are a veteran, you get access to it for a year. So check out, try it. But if it's not working, you don't need to put your investment in there. But before you do the premium, you have to be active. You have to have a month history of showing that you are active. So make sure that you are enjoying LinkedIn before you invest dollars into it. That's all I can say on that piece. I don't ever want to have a job seeker go in the hole to job seek for job searching. $90 per month seems like a lot if you're not working. Exactly. I don't want you to go in the hole. So it's all into what you can afford, and if it's something that's going to be right for you. Me personally, I wouldn't put any money towards it because the free account is all I need to be successful. All right. To reach all-star status, you need to have 50 connections. I know that sounds a lot, especially for those who said in the beginning or the second poll, how many people does the average person know? 10 or less than 25. 50 could be hard to get to. You cannot connect with others by sending them an invitation or by accepting their invitations. You can jumpstart your connections, and I might have said that wrong, by allowing LinkedIn to match you up with people from your email address book. So you can connect. You cannot. I don't know why I added cannot. So yeah, search. You can send it. Another way is simply by using the search features. Another way to start your search is simply by using the search feature to find the companies you're used to work at, and with your ex-coworkers. Maybe they're on LinkedIn. Your past bosses, past connections from high school, college. Establishing connections and interacting is a core part of LinkedIn, and the platform rewards you in search results if you have more connections. Every minute, this is straight from the CEO, and I love it. Every minute on LinkedIn, if I recall this right, almost 200 people join. Holy cow. 9,000 connections are made, 4,500 applications are submitted, and I believe it was anywhere between 3, 4, or 5 people get a job, and that is every minute. So LinkedIn is a valuable resource, and I do encourage to jump on there. Oh no, so Karen, did you say not connect or invite a person to be a connection? No, I misspoke. Sorry. I want you to connect to those people that you might know. Add a little note. That's a great question. If you're throwing a connection out there, add a note. And I'll talk about other ways to connect with people here in a moment. Networking is the key to job search success, and it's difficult, even under the best of circumstances. But networking while unemployed can be especially uncomfortable. If you struggle, if this is a struggle that's right for you or real for you, networking while unemployed is not as hard as it may seem. In fact, here are a few simple strategies you can do on LinkedIn to make the whole process easier and more productive. When LinkedIn became mainstream in 2010, you may have unintentionally accepted an invitation to be part of someone's network, and I'm sure some of us did that. If you have less than 25 connections and you have not really used LinkedIn in the last decade, start fresh. Sign up for a new LinkedIn account and begin growing your network. Let the site walk you through the basics, identifying your information, your headline, your work experience, education, and possibly explore your email connections. In 30 minutes or less, you'll have an online presence that backs up the content on your resume. You might even get out of there with an expert level or an all-star status. Here are the 3 steps that I'm going to say, which are going to be great for you as a job seeker. First, endorse. If you have an established network, click on your connections and scroll through all those second and third degree suggested connections. Add a personal note and a short statement of how you know each other. And if relevant, view their profile, endorse them for a skill set. So for me, I was at a resource fair and I talked to a bunch of employers. My next step is to send out an invitation to those employers and saying, hey, we spoke about this on, I was glad to meet you on this day. We spoke about this. Please add me to your network and maybe we can build off each other's connections. If not, no big deal. Something simple like that, a note, is great. Now, endorsing their skill, that is when you have a good connection with them. You don't just endorse, go out there and endorse everyone for every skill they have. Endorse for what you know. It helps you maintain those skill sets and they'll endorse you back potentially. I just checked my account. I have well over 500 first degree connections, which leads me to nearly, if not more than 400,000 second degree connections that I could be introduced to. So that means through my 500 people that I might know on LinkedIn, I have the chance of knowing 400,000 additional ones just by using that network. It is crazy. 6 degrees of separation is down to 4 to 5 degrees using social media. You can add a personal note when submitting a recommendation. So what I like to do is, hey, I think I'm going to have to do some job searching. I know Lana is awesome at moderating. She's great at organizing. She even uses innovative ideas in WebEx. I can endorse her and write a recommendation for her. And before I send it, I can say, hey, Lana, I really appreciate everything you've done and the partnership we have. If you could return the favor and write me a recommendation, I would much appreciate it. But if not, no worries. I feel you deserve this. So by doing that and adding that little personal note, she might feel a little obligated to return the favor. This is great because it's building up your kudos, your accolades on your LinkedIn, because employers can see those as well. So adding that personal note is great, but always add that opt-out position. Don't come off demanding. Come off as respectful and saying, hey, no worries if you don't. You are great. LinkedIn has over 830 million members with over 58 million registered companies. A strategy I employ is to follow those companies that I desire to work for. Click to see the people that have experience in that company. Maybe they're a hidden connection of yours already, and begin a conversation with those who are in HR or past connection. If you do a little research, those who have a LinkedIn Premium will see that you dropped by, as Ben mentioned earlier about LinkedIn Premium. Do not allow your account to become idle. There are often tools accessible to those who are willing. Excuse me. I'm about ready to sneeze. Another strategy I found successful is following those companies' articles and commenting on their posts, even sharing their posts and saying, referencing the person that posted, say, hey, Lana, I love this post. Do you have any other jobs that I can share with my connections? Something like that could be really impressive. And then the last thing, relevant content. Speaking of posts, increase your LinkedIn traffic by sharing articles relevant to your profession or industry. Try adding a hashtag. And if you haven't heard about a hashtag, we will update you briefly here in the next slide or two. And use that hashtag to say excellent article or workforce development or careers Minnesota, whatever hashtag you feel is relevant to engage with your connections. With a name drop in the comments is another step you can do by throwing someone's name after you share it and saying, what do you think of this article, Lana? and she can engage with me. Now we're having a conversation, and that post is getting more traction. So as that post gets more traction, more people might comment on it. So it's another way to jump into that. And for Sarah, if you need private on that, we can definitely help you with. The question was, is there a webinar for navigating LinkedIn for beginners? Reach out to your local career force. We will do a one-on-one session with those individuals and walk them through their profile building. That is totally easy for us. And we can do that in 30 minutes, or it can be an advanced section as well. So going back to the hashtags on that one, the relevant content, most importantly, invest your time on LinkedIn. Do not allow your account to become idle. There are tons of tools. The video is the hashtags, incorporating an interview prep tool that we can talk about. And we only have about 5 minutes, but I'll allow myself extra time afterwards to answer any questions you might have. I don't want you to leave this saying, gosh, I wish I would have had my question answered. So with video being the next mega trend, LinkedIn has added a more human way of content sharing by introducing stories. This hasn't really hit off as much as I thought it would right away, but it is still a great tool for us to allow account holders to replace those essential water cooler moments with a short clip, 30-second short clip. And for those moments that require conversation, face-to-face meeting, the best way to get things done, they have also added that video call over Teams. So LinkedIn has Teams, LinkedIn has BlueJeans by Verizon, LinkedIn has Zoom directly from a message thread. So if you're looking to have a coffee summary or a coffee informational interview, that's a perfect place for to have an informational interview. When the influx of younger users started joining this platform, they were looking for that video by catering to the video elevator speech. To add a video elevator speech, unfortunately, you can't do it by your desktop or anything that, even if you have video, you have to do it by a mobile device. So you have to jump on there and go to your picture, click on that, tap your profile video, and you can introduce yourself with a 30-second video. LinkedIn is using hashtags. These are some of the current hashtags that are trending. You can even go to AI, so Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, and ask, what are the trending job seeker hashtags on LinkedIn? Or best way to use a hashtag on LinkedIn. That way, it will get you the current, the most up-to-date hashtags to use when you're posting an article or sharing something that you want others to comment on. So how do hashtags work, and when's the best time to use it? If you use LinkedIn, X, Instagram, Facebook, you're probably familiar. It's just a hashtag sign or a pound symbol followed by a word or phrase, no spaces. Let's go back. All right, so we're gonna jump into open to work. I'm sorry I'm cutting some of this stuff short. For the longest time, and this is kind of not conversational. People have conflicting ideas. Does this work? Does this not work? Do you want to share that you're looking for a job? Do you not want to share that you're looking for a job? For the longest time, being out of work was shameful, and job seekers were apprehensive in sharing something so personal. Today, it's a 180-degree turnaround. Job seekers are transparent and honest in their posts. Your network wants to know you. Your network wants to hire you and support you. Therefore, your network of connections, employers, and recruiters should know that you're open for work. Although some influencers are skeptical of this feature, the best thing to do is give it a try and find out for yourself. If it works for you, awesome. If it doesn't, take it down. Whether you choose this banner or not, we do encourage using the next feature, as it will be helpful to engage with your network even further. And I'm really excited to share this one about you. This is the last tool we'll talk about as we finish out our time together. So if you have any burning questions, please get them into the chat. And remember that your local career force has a network of professionals that are ready to assist you with your job search success. Navigating to the next session from your LinkedIn homepage is somewhat confusing without demonstration, so I'll give you a link and a quick rundown. first sign into your LinkedIn. Once you've signed into your LinkedIn, select jobs. That will be the briefcase at the center of your homepage, and then click on the interview prep tool. If you want a direct link, I can also add that into the chat. Let me just go ahead and throw that in there. Also with the email. So when you click on this link, it goes directly to the interview prep tool. There are 26 common questions that the interview prep tool unravels. The questions that employers are going to ask you in that interview. The first question most of us will hear is, can you tell me about yourself? Currently, this question has been viewed 17 billion times and provides sample responses to help you form your own variation. So if you need something to help you over the weekend because you have an interview on Monday and we're not open, go ahead and jump on this tool. View what other people are using and then make it your own. For what we call stealing or borrowing someone else's experiences, what we call it is creatively borrowing and making it our own. So that's the best thing I can say on that is see what other people are using and make it your own. Make it reference what you truly believe and what is honest about you. Never lie, never embellish. Tell them straight as is what you can do. The categories that are most common, there are 14 different categories that we can narrow down to industry, from account executive to accountant, administrative assistant, software engineer, wealth management, project manager, just to name a few. There's 14 different ones. And then you can have that questions that you encountered. So you can look at those questions and you can say, you know what? I want feedback. I want feedback on how I responded to this. Once you have reviewed the question and committed a response, you can either type in the response or record a video to gather feedback. What artificial intelligence can do, if you do the video, they will monitor your filler words and how fast you talk. You can share your responses with any of your first level connections and garnish their feedback and to the answer and how well you delivered it. Using automation tools such as AI in the hiring process is nothing new. And there is good chance that your applications or jobs have been screened by a machine looking for keywords or seeking to rank candidates. LinkedIn's own recruiting system have used AI tools to suggest candidates for years. So AI is nothing we should be afraid of. There are so many tools you can use for researching companies and finding careers. In fact, there are endless topics that we could have selected to have an immediate impact on LinkedIn for your job search. But hopefully the 3 that we talked about today gives you a good start that might be good for you now. For those who are new to LinkedIn and would like to create an account, we do have staff in our local career forces ready to guide you through the process of setting up an account and available to provide any additional advice, strategies on how to expand your job search strategies. One of my favorite ways of job searching is taking a Google Drive, and I plan on creating a workshop regarding that. So if you want to join us for any of our virtual and interactive workshops, you can jump over. Ooh, sorry. I think I was only responding to one person for all my links. So I'll throw in that past link as well. There we go. They're all in my saved clipboard history. All right. So you can watch that video on that first link for that interview prep tool. There's that interview prep tool. Lana, we are past time by 3 minutes, but I want to save time for any questions. So if you want to stop the record, you can do that.